Hey, what's going on there, everybody? It's the same leg here representing Team JVS, here to give you guys another review straight from TIFF 2023. We had the honor of being able to go on site and check out some amazing films from different artists and filmmakers. I'm here to talk about Fair Play. Fair Play is directed by Chloe Domont. It is starring Phoebe Dynevor, Alden Ehrenreich, and also Eddie Marsan. So Phoebe and Alden are playing the roles of Emily and Luke. They are in a relationship. And the way the movie starts is so interesting. But they're both working for the same exact marketing location. And basically their jobs are kind of working with balances of stocks and trying to handle the market and work it. And when we first see them, they decide to take their relationship from where it is to possibly getting engaged. And while simultaneously that happens, one of them gets a promotion, and eventually one has to be the superior over the other, and that is causing the worst ripple effect for their relationship, and that is the basis of this movie. Now, Eddie Marsan playing the role of Campbell. Campbell is the head. He is the PM program. He's the head program manager, and actually, I think the whole entire corporation is resting on him because there's other people that he's kind of allowed to be assistant program managers and deputies, and kind of like basically I don't know if I want to spoil who is the person that becomes like the main manager, but what it does for Emily and Luke is catastrophic. It is one of the worst case scenarios that you can ever have, and it just continues to get worse. One thing that I'll say is a plus on this movie is absolutely the performances from Phoebe and Alden. They are on it. Like they never miss a beat. Specifically Phoebe, because she's dealing with so many different ranges of emotions, because once she kind of gets the understanding of kind of like who's been selected between the two, then she's trying to reconcile their relationship. She's trying to also prepare for them getting married potentially and engagement, and also dealing with her family. And also, I think I love the fact that both Luke and Emily are very multi-layered. Like Phoebe's got a very interesting upbringing, and the way that they articulate her upbringing, where she comes from, is certain interactions, whether it's with Campbell, whether it's with Paul, whether it's with Rory or other people, or even as with Luke. Like you get the handle of like how she's had to struggle to get where she's at, and how much harder it is for her being a woman in that kind of specific space and market to even try to even be noticed, let alone keep their job. The other part of that with Luke, played by Alden, he is very gifted, but at the same time, he's also not. He's trying to wake his way up, and he's not being seen whatsoever. And I think that with Alden in this one, his spiral is so much more fascinating, because he at first kind of comes to terms with, what's happening and how it's going to change his relationship. But then he goes and decides to, listen to this self-help, and the art of manipulation and ego and selfishness starts to literally soak into his character. And the worst of things happens because of, honestly, from that self-help book, and also his own ambitions. Now, that's not to say that the character Campbell is the innocent saint. He is not. He could care less. And how this goes down, like it gets so dangerous and dirty to the point that the last 10 minutes, as intense as it was, as thrilling as it was, I think it may have crossed the line. And it crossed the line in the sense that it takes you out of believability, and also takes you down the line of like, what are they really trying to say here? Because some of it is like, oh, okay, I can see how this could happen. But it just goes a completely different route that it caught me off guard, because I think it could have finished a little bit differently and made it a more stronger film. I do think that Chloe, in terms of some of her build up in the way that she's, from a script standpoint, also the way they shot it, like every small single little moment that you come to love these characters in the very beginning and where they end up, it all is set up really well. I think that certain camera placements and certain scenarios they kind of put up show this line of gray as opposed to just straight black and white. But then when certain lines are crossed, it goes immediately right back to black and white, which I love that aspect of the film. But I do think that from a narrative standpoint, they kind of go off the reins and they try to dramatify it a little bit too much in the sense of how the story progresses. And I wish that it was done a little bit more fashioned. Like, I think there's just certain things about the film that I was like, man, this is a beautiful shot. Man, this is a very good setup. And then towards the back half, they kind of go in certain routes that it feels unnecessary. It feels over dramatified. And I think that not just that, everybody has different range of emotions. I think that every single one of the emotions that Emily and Luke feel are specific emotions that certain people feel at certain times. But I don't think that all the different emotions, all the different outcomes that happen in this movie are realistic at all in one specific sitting. I think that it would have been interesting to kind of see this layered a little bit better. This is about 1 hour and 53 minutes. Sometimes it does feel a little over long from a pacing standpoint. But I do think that off the basis of Phoebe and Alden's performances alone is a must watch. You got to go and check it out from a thriller standpoint. And also, again, you don't know how this is going to end. You don't really know who's going to end up on top, so to speak. And also what happens to their relationship, what happens to them as people. So it's a very good thriller, but I think that it could have been so much better and so much more refined. I'd rest this at a C- to C. I think that it would be something that I think is worth watching from everybody's standpoint, but also I think that they cross some lines that I just don't think were necessary. This also is very violent, and there's a lot of sensual, sexual things happening, nudity and everything in between, which sometimes it can look like it's really sexy, it's really hip, but I think that some lines in this one I just don't think were really needed necessarily. But let me know what you guys think of Fair Play. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace, people.